I think we're live.
Yeah.
I think we're live. Oh, guys. Okay, we are live on this beautiful, awkward Wednesday at 1 p.m. in the middle of the day in San Antonio, Texas. Hey, thank you for the reminder, Camerina. Thank you, Camerina, if you logged on. Candice, thank you for logging on. Carla Carranza. The first thing you got to do, as soon as you log on, you got to share this stream. Please share it. It's about ladies taking care of other ladies. It's about ladies recognizing that they can and want to get better, and they want to share that. But also ladies trying to teach other ladies not to make the same mistakes, right? Because sometimes it's good when you learn from your mistakes. It's even better when you learn from other people's mistakes. So that's why today we got Shia Society. Look, Facebook is doing that thing. Send 200 stars to pin your comments here. Allah, what is that? If you get that notification of sending 200 stars, please do it, because Facebook is trying to move everybody from YouTube back to Facebook and stuff like that. They're always competing. But if you
can't even keep up.
I know,
so
Kenny.
many things.
Gilbert Hernandez is watching.
Hey, Pastor.
He's coming from Mexico. We were there yesterday. Carla Carrion.
Awesome.
Monica, your hair looks cute, Edith.
Thank you.
What about mine, Monica? Lee.
Camille, the husband gave the approval. He loved it. And then I was like, let me ask Candice and Camille.
Oh, neta.
I'm sorry.
Que gacha. Okay, whatever.
So thanks, ladies. I'm doing big and bold things all around.
All
Hair,
around.
everything.
Me too. I need a shape. Okay, Veronica Rodriguez. Veronica, we love Veronica.
Yes.
Veronica
welcome,
is logged on. Marianne Manning, hello from Cockley, Texas.
Oh, yes.
Catherine.
Marianne Manning. Yes.
Oh.
Hi, Marianne.
Brittany
Good
Rios.
to see you here.
Babe, what is those letters? I never understood them. IFBB.
That's she competes, fitness competitor.
But what does that mean? IFFBB.
It's International Fitness Bodybuilding.
Oh, wow. Okay, congratulations, Brittany. Brittany, first thing you got to do, Veronica también, Pastor Gilbert, and Madeline, Carla, please share this podcast. More than listening to us or that we want viewers or we want people to watch us, no. What we want is for people to get better. That's it. When God, I was telling Dom the other day that what I've noticed is that when you get closer to God, there's this protection mechanism that grows in your heart, right? Because we used to talk about that you didn't care about people that much, right? Weren't you? Right?
Yeah.
And now that you didn't care about other girls. It was just you independent. But once you start getting closer to God, this protection mechanism starts getting better and bigger. And now you started caring for other women, right? It's weird, right?
Yeah, I think it's also, well, I think we're all called to that, but I think, we're all called to specific things.
Hold on. Did I lose sound? Oh, no, sorry. It's just my headphones. I'm sorry, Papa. Mama. Sorry. Okay, we're all called to that.
Wow.
Continue. I got ADD, ADHD, elemental P. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, but I think that for me personally, God has really heightened that awareness that it is about people, especially in this season, because sometimes you think that that you know, and then God just kind of broadens that awareness a little bit more, because He's trying to equip you to take on more and to be more aware and to be more mindful of what you're projecting, what you're, because I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about this a little bit, but one of the things that God made me aware of is, in the events that we were having, is that we were having these one-time events, and they're great. They're incredible.
Yeah.
I learn, women come into these spaces and learn, but it was just this like one-time thing, and there was really not much in between. And so I just know that going forward, I want to be able to be more intentional.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the word that's been, that's been coming more and more to me is intentionality leads to excellence.
For those that don't know, we're going to be talking today about the Shia Social coming up, because it is part of the Shia Society. If you don't know, a movement that started with retreats, right? And then it started to a 1-year event. And now you want to do a Shia Social. Why? Because this happens to everybody. You go to church and you're like, oh, Pastor, that was awesome. Oh, thank you for blessing me. Oh, I had a good moment. I had a feeling of the Holy Spirit or whatever, right? But then there's some everybody, not just girls, that you want to do life with other girls or other people, and closeness and true fellowship, true koinonia, true getting together and talking it through helps, right? Right. So,
well, that's what Shia Society was birthed out of that. And in the beginning, it was She Is, and just recently, in this preparation of the next thing, the focus has been Shia Society, because the focus is community. It's not just She Is, or it's not just me. It's not just one person. It's a community, and so
because it's so easy sometimes in movements for movements to go around a person or the leader, which is good because there's some amazing leaders out there. But what you wanted to create is a society, because one thing we were talking about, Shia Social, one of the things you want to do is give a stage or a platform to the different callings and words and abilities that women have, right?
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of stuff going on, like from the podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the podcast, the She Is podcast.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one.
A lot of different things. You're getting ahead of me.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, but look, let me show you. Somebody sent us some stars. Carla Carranza sent us 200 stars. Thank you.
That's awesome. What are stars?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Behind.
I know, me too.
I feel like in 2 months, so many things have happened on
because
social media.
Edith hasn't been on social media for the last 2 months. Okay, look at this. Jennifer shared. Thank you for sharing it. Melanie Gutierrez, thank you for watching.
Thank you, ladies.
Share
thank
it.
You so much.
Mammy Vargas, thank you. Marisa Cano, Marissa, how are you doing, girls?
Marissa, thanks for jumping on.
Our dinner's still pending. Melissa Collins, thank you for logging on. Diana.
Hi, Melissa.
Diana, thank you for logging on. Well, the thing is this. Edith started She Is how many years ago?
What? She Society was in 2014.
Retreat, event, seminar. And then what's next, right? The next iteration.
Seminar, no, conference.
And one of the
and then conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the beautiful things that I like about the next steps for She Is because sometimes that's why fasting is so important at many levels, from spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. Sometimes you just need to purge a lot of crap from yourself to feel the, the next thing that is going to be in your heart. So Edith purged herself.
Sure.
Se limpió, hombre, una purga. No, purga soy bien feo. Anyway, so what she did a social media and something else fasting.
Yes, something else. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that in one of the podcasts.
It's important. I think
it's
important for me to be transparent about my own struggles because that's how I can relate to more women. So we'll talk about that at a later time.
Amy Clitnati says, you look stunning, Edith.
Oh, thank you,
What
Amy.
about me?
I'm so glad you're on here.
I don't look stunning? God, mijas. Okay, Lisette Sandona. Lisette.
Can I just share something real quick before you get to Lisette? I'll remind you to come back to her. But there's a scripture. Oh my gosh, I think it's in 2 Timothy. And it says, but reject. This goes to what you were just saying about purging. But reject foolish and ignorant disputes, knowing that they breed quarrels. The Lord's slave must not quarrel, but must be gentle to everyone, able to teach and patient, instructing his opponents with gentleness.
The Lord's slave.
Well, before that was not the scripture, but I'm sure that was for somebody. Before that, it says, so if anyone purifies himself from anything dishonorable, he will be a special instrument set apart, useful to the master, prepared for every good work.
Say it again. Read it again. That's impressive.
So if anyone purifies himself from anything dishonorable, he will be a special instrument set apart, useful to the master, prepared for every good work.
I always like to analyze the reverse. So for example, some people are like, man, God is not showing me my calling, or God is not using me, or some stuff is not coming together.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't hear God's voice.
Maybe it's because you haven't purged the dishonorable stuff in your life. Anyway, that's pretty amazing. So Edith, what Edith did, she stopped social media.
Not that social media is dishonorable.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It can be.
That's the beautiful conversation we can have with God.
It's up to us.
In regards, for example, alcohol or friends or who you talk to, what you say, whatever, that you can say, okay, let me be honest with myself. Am I crossing the line? Am I on social media too much that it takes me away from my kids, takes me away from my husband, takes me away from God? Do I gravitate to that type of conversation more than to this type of conversation? And it takes a very special person to be honest with themselves and say, you know what? I'm not good at this. Yeah. This is not the best use of my time. It's taking away from me more than it's adding. So to you, Edith, it started what did you think? What in your analysis, what did you think was taken away from you, social media?
I didn't know until I got off of social media.
But what made you decide?
Well, it had already been something that I felt God was telling me to get off of, but I kept negotiating with him and saying, but God,
negotiating with God.
I have the community on there, you know?
Oh.
And the thing is that one of the biggest lessons that I learned is that social media was made for connection, but it rarely does that. There's not a true authentic connection.
It's not intimate.
Not just my connection with people, but my connection with God and my connection with my husband. You know, it's like when we're around each other and we're just constantly on our phones, on social media, it doesn't allow for us to have a true connection. It's distracting. So I think that was the biggest thing, is that I wanted to use it for community, but it was actually keeping me from being service to my community because I wasn't showing up fully as who I know God wanted to equip me to be. And so finally I was like, okay, God, I'm going to do it. I've done it in the past, but this time it's really just I've been able to hear God more clearly.
Yeah.
There's just been a lot of amazing things I feel like I've been able to accomplish in 2 months, what probably would have taken me 3 or 4 years to accomplish.
Yeah.
In my own strength, because I'm trying to do everything and I'm trying to manage, social media community, and I'm trying to do all the other things. And so, yeah, it's just...
let me ask you this. If you're logged on, because Veronica says the struggle is real. Lisette says...
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Yes, I've been there. Girls, because it's a girls podcast, right? All right, girls, let me ask you a question. Have you done a social media fast? And or would you be honest with yourself right now and say, that's something I need to do? If I was honest with myself, that's something I need to do. If that's you, say, that's me. That's me. Because a lot of times we engage emotionally to comments and things on Facebook. That was me. Like I could tell you 4 years ago, that was me. So I would see comments or conversations and I was like, a la fregada, I'm coming at you, or get altered when people were fighting or saying or a comment that I didn't agree with. Now it doesn't faze me. And I think I'm there, thank God. But most of us are not there. And a lot of people are not there. This is their whole emotional, spiritual connection life. So if you're that girl that you're like, you know what, Saulo, Edith, I think I need to do something like that. Or but Veronica says, no, but 1,000% need to do it. Me, Carrie says me. Alisa Rodriguez says, something I need to do. Yep, Carrie says, getting ready to deactivate.
Yeah, I love that. And
I've done it and it helps so much, Melissa.
And I encourage it so much just because, and again, going back to intentionality, being intentional, which means doing something on purpose, is what are you going to do with that time?
Exactly. You got to, and be smarter. It's true that you said, replace it with something.
Yes, because something will take the place of that time.
Totally.
And it's really easy to give into the things that are just easy.
Babe.
Like, and one of the things that, I still struggle with is like the tick is that you still want to jump on your phone. And I've definitely reduced my screen time. I went from 8 hours to 5 hours.
Babe, really?
Those 5 hours is a little bit of Amado on the phone, and the other bit is me on my emails, or just following up with, the group me, chatting with the girls on the team and whatnot.
Babe, look at what Evie says. I love this. Evie says, I haven't posted in 1 year. And in 1 year, I only commented on Shia Society. I rarely got on Facebook. It feels so good. That's what
Evie
she says.
was our Faith and Fitness Challenge winner. She won the $1,000 when we did the...
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yes, I've done a few social media fasts, and it helps so much. Thank you, girls, for being honest about that, right?
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we're not honest about that it's
a struggle.
It's overpowering. This is your
master.
And
doing something about it. One of the things I was listening to a podcast, because that's one of the things that I'm doing more often now is I'm listening to educational leadership podcast. And one of the things that Sadie Robertson said is that, she was talking to a friend about social media and Twitter specifically, and just how toxic it is and how easy it is for you to be addicted and to get swallowed into that Twitter hole, and I think that's really the case for any social media site. But she was saying that it's just, she asked her, well, do you have a Twitter? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, it's so interesting that we will talk about things that are bad for us, but we still continue to partake in it.
Oh, yeah.
And she wrote this book, and it's like, who are you following? But it talks about, using social media. There's still a way for us to use these tools and resources in a way that is more structured, in a way that doesn't suck you in a way that's not as distracting, that keeps you from all the things that you are called to do. And so that's what I realized that it was doing for me. I have a very, like my husband, we're similar in this. We have addictive personalities. And so we find something, we love it, and we're just
go hard.
all in.
And sometimes it's not good things.
Yeah. And
most of the time.
And that's the thing is that what I realized is that in the morning, if I started with social media, I'd just kind of get sucked into it. And then I would just put other things off to the side, like I'll do it tomorrow. And so I was just busy. I felt busy.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have time to do anything, but I was just not productive.
You know what I think? I think that excuse of I don't have time is the stupidest, dumbest excuse we use so often. Everybody says, I don't have time.
We have time. It's just we're placing our time and what we choose to give our time to. And time mismanagement.
Okay, Marcela Freeman is logged on. Marcela, thank you for logging on and thank you for sharing it.
Okay, let's move on to...
Una persona más. Yes, totally agree. We need to strip from the noise, feed our heart with Jesus. So the reason we're here today...
That's why we're here today.
...is because Edith took... she fasted social media. And
I got to work.
She got to work.
I got to work.
I would get home and she was like, "Here, take care of the baby. I gotta go to my cave." And it was like,
let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. What do you think? What differences have you seen in me now and what in the past before I got off of social media.
You want to talk to me more? Or we have conversations? Because back in the day, I would get here and you were in the middle of a post reading or something, and you were like, now like, babe, how was your day? I'm like, what the heck? It feels like the Partridge Family. Like, babe, how's your day?
But I'm cooking more.
She's cooking.
I cleaned this studio. It was a mess. I organized our garage. It's our studio.
Well, before I got married, I converted my garage into a studio because I was going to produce, and I produce in videos. If anybody needs a podcast, let me know. So I got married, and then I got married. So she has stuff too. So she brought it in here too.
Okay, calm down. But wait. It's not like...
No, none of that.
I made it what it is. Let's be honest.
I got to be. I was heading there.
If you want to go there, if this is where we're going, we want to talk about. Anyway, I got married and I got married.
Yes, but most of the time it's beautiful. Anyway, so then one day she comes in. I'm just gonna clean stuff. We can do a whole podcast about our situation because esta mujer
that's for another one too.
She gives everything away. I got to tell one story, but one of these days. But anyway, so then I converted to a studio, right? And then stuff started coming back in and things and stuff like that, and it became storage again. And now again, she cleaned it again, and it looks amazing. It's beautiful because I don't know if it's Latinos, but we're just storing stuff. Anyway, so she's more conversational. You're more conversational.
I'm cooking more.
She's cooking more.
Just more present.
Oh yeah, I love when I'm coming from work and I tell you, and let's go out to eat and let's do this. And before, I think you would be thinking about, well, I need to finish this thread, or I need to have this conversation. You know what I mean? Because you're emotionally attached to something and you don't even notice it. It's so weird.
You don't.
So anyway, so that's good. Things that I've noticed.
Yeah. So some of the things that I've been working on in these past 2 months, like I said, in 2 months, what would have taken me in 5 years, maybe even, I feel like I've been able to accomplish the equivalent of what I accomplished in the 7 years of She Is Society's
I'll tell you this, scary.
But also, let me add this because I think it's very important. I think God's timing is impeccable. Mm-hmm. I think that God probably could have, given me these skills and the ability to accomplish these things in the past, but it wasn't his timing. So the timing and the obedience and all these things that kind of come together is very important to touch on, because I think sometimes we think like, why don't I have what they have, or why can't I accomplish this? It's like, you really have to understand that the timing is everything. And even though I've gotten off of social media in the past, I've never felt this clear on my vision and really just going forward. So I feel like God just kind of like I obeyed, I emptied myself so that God can come and pour in, and I was just this vessel that was ready. Like and I think that because God knew that in my heart and my mind I was ready, he then just unloaded tons of skill, creativity, things that I just couldn't hear before.
And let me tell you something else you did that I love, because she's real honest that we think this is social media to socialize. It's not. You know what she started to do sometimes? She would tell me, babe, can you take care of Amado on this day after this time, because I'm going to go eat with this person. And it happens so many times. Like in a week, she would tell me that 3 times. Like, I'm going to go eat breakfast with this person. I'm going to go eat lunch with this person. I'm going to go eat dinner with this person. She was so intentional in ministering to people one by one, which I think it's the best heart from God that anybody can have, because everybody loves platform. Everybody loves the mic. Everybody loves to be, look at me, the title and all that stuff, which is cool. But when somebody starts ministering to people one-on-one, to me, I'm like, awesome. And that's something that she started to do. And one of the conversations, I know it could be private, but to the point that one of the conversations, Edith and me have this thing because we love to minister to people. There's an aspect that I'm very private with the people I talk to. I respect people putting their hearts in my hands. She does too, right? And one of the conversations, when you went to talk to Lisette, you told me a phrase Lisette Sandona told you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we were in bed.
I love that chat.
Right? We were in bed, and she said, babe, you know what Lisette Sandona said today? And I'm like, what? Lisette, she said it, and it ministered to me. Like, you know that moment when you feel God's presence in the room? They're like, okay, that was completely from God. God is doing something. And I got so excited for you, Lisette. I got so excited for your husband. I got so excited for your future. But I get so excited because she was there. She put away the noise and got closer to souls. And I think that's what we need to do. And I think that's what has been happening.
And she did too. You know, it's a beautiful thing when women, you know, want to gather for the purpose of like, what is God doing in your life? You know, because I think that's the most exciting conversation that we can have. We can talk about a lot of things, but nothing is as fulfilling as just sitting and having heart-to-heart talks about what is God doing in your life.
Yeah, totally.
And God is doing amazing things in Lizette's life.
Alisa says, I think Jesus is telling me something. I'm about to go on a retreat in 15 days, and we're encouraged to tuck our phones away. Alisa, I went on a retreat that was called Disconnected, and we disconnected for a week and a half. No connections, right? They just gave us 30 minutes on one day to talk to our parents or whatever. But you should do it and be intentional. And when you feel like Edith says, that tug, like, you know, you don't have a phone, but you think it's ringing, right? You don't have a phone anymore. Tell God, I'm struggling with this. And like those areas of oh man, and I'm challenging. I want to pick up the phone, say, God, let me talk to you, like Edith say.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but I've loved this season so much. It's like, you know, I've thought of like never going back to social media, and you know, I'm trying to find ways to.
It's hard, babe. I see you struggling because it helped you a lot, but this new thing that you're gonna do, it requires a lot of social media. Now, having said that, I think I tell Edith all the time, and I'm not lying. I mention Edith's friends' names all the time. I'm like, babe, this girl, this girl, this girl. Thank God for them. Yeah. And I'm not gonna mention it because she's got a lot of them, but like use them. And I would encourage you girls from Shia Society to come alongside her even more and help her in that area if you're still going to be on social media, because a lot of these things is going to require social media.
And this is the incredible thing about God, is that he knows where he's taking you, and he knows what you're going to need for where you're going. And so we already have someone on the team that's going to be managing our social media. And this is, I don't know if this is seasonal or permanently, you know, this is just something that I feel right now that I'm not ready to come back to, because I don't want to disturb or disrupt what God is doing right now.
I agree.
And I know that God will show me and reveal to me when the time is right for me to get back on social media full time. But yeah, so let's talk about the things that we have been working on. So as Salo mentioned, we do have a podcast that we're going to be kicking off.
Okay, hold on. Let me put it. Look at that right there.
So
these
are images of some of the girls on the team. We have Candace, we have Amy, we have Damaris, Camille's on there.
And one of the things that, Edith, we talk about a lot, there's a lot of girls that have a calling from God out there. You know this. Yeah. You know that you're different. You know that you're weird. And I'll say it that way. You're weird. You don't fit in this world. Yes, you got weaknesses. Yes, you got sin. Yes, you got stuff you're struggling with. But still, you know that there's a God tugging saying, hey, I've called you for more. You need to fix this. You need to purge. You need to clean yourself. And like Edith was reading, then he's going to make you useful. So there's a lot of ladies out there that have word that I would be so excited that they would step in the podcast with you to participate.
Well, yeah, and we're just going to keep, this is going to be a platform for us to keep the conversation going. We're going to be talking about, if we want to move on to the next.
No, you're done with the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, let me also say this. There's going to be a link here in the description. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but there's going to be a link that we're going to provide here that's going to allow you to click on it, and it's going to take you to all of the things that we're going to talk about. That way you can follow us on the podcast. We're on all podcast platforms. My favorite is Spotify. I think that's the link that we're going to provide. But the podcast, we're going to talk about a few different things. We're going to keep the conversation going based off of what we're going to be discussing at the socials. So like Salo said, one of so in the beginning, I have so much to share. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to share this, and this. But, you know, in the beginning when I started I had an idea, it was like, I need community. I need godly friendships, women who want to grow in their faith. And because I didn't have that, that's where was birthed out of that need and that longing. And so we started with retreats. And over the years, it's kind of evolved. We added the conferences, and then we would do the live streams from time to time. Yeah. But now I believe that God has given me this clear vision, and it's evolved. And God is showing me that we want to be support for women, for churches even. Like Saulo said, like we go to church and we hear these incredible messages and we leave inspired. And by the midweek, we're already back to our old selves. Yeah. So how can we get plugged in to a community that's going to disciple us as women, that's going to help us to sharpen our tools, help us strengthen our spiritual tool belt, like Moni says, help us to walk out these biblical principles that seem like they're a challenging thing to do, but they're doable. We can have peace in the midst of chaos. We can be kind and loving even to those that are not kind and loving to us. And we can be all the things. But how can we walk alongside other women that are modeling that out, that are living that out? And then how can we go look back and help the women that are just starting, that are just given their lives to Christ? They want to learn more about what this life looks like.
As simple as it could be, a lot of women or people, they don't know. What do I do? What do I read? Who do I talk to? But women helping women, that's gold. Sorry. No, I guess I get excited when you're with your girls and you guys are just sharing with each other. And then you hear a Nana or you hear a Lisette and then you hear make a comment or their assessment of a situation. And you're like, oh my goodness, those are amazing nuggets.
Yeah.
And I get excited with the podcast, Edith, because I think there's a lot of things that you can do with women if they only decided to obey God and step into their calling, because there's a lot of, thank God for our leaders, thank God for pastors and leaders and the people on the platform, but there's some girls out there that I know that if God took a hold of them, they could be amazing spokespeople for God.
Absolutely. I believe it. And so that's what we're creating through the podcast, through all these different things these initiatives that we're launching out, is that we want to create a place for you to get connected, for us to have conversations about these things through the socials, through community. And, I know that what we do, it's inviting women, and sometimes women don't want to.
Yeah, great.
Sometimes it's like
uncomfortable. Would you say women are different species?
Yes, we're different. We're emotional beings. A lot of times we talk ourselves out of being in places that are going to really get us to the next place, challenge us, to make us better. And so, I just want to remind you to be aware of when you're invited to something that is God is the focus, whether it's church or community or Bible study, and you're reluctant to do it because you don't like the topic, you don't like the women, you don't, whatever it is. It's like, just be aware of that, be mindful of that, because we can talk ourselves out of a great opportunity of growing and getting closer to God. Say it again.
Because you can out-talk what?
We can now talk ourselves into an opportunity.
We convince ourselves to crap, right?
It's easy because it's easy to sit on the sidelines. It's easy to sit on the outside and just watch what everybody else is doing. But then we sit on the sidelines and then we're unhappy because it's like, I want to be doing what they're doing, but I don't know what other people are going to think. And so just be mindful of that, because I believe that's
let me tell you something.
Let me just finish this thought.
Oh, sorry, babe. Sorry.
I think it's one of the tactics that the enemy will use to keep you isolated, to keep you away from community, because it's challenging, because women are difficult, because women are jealous. And yes, we have all of these emotions, but they're not there for them to have control over us. Yeah. They are there for us to be able to have self-control, right? God's word says that he did not give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, of self-control, and love.
Something like that.
Right, something like that.
Second Edith 3:5.
I do remember, because it's important. We have to have control over those emotions, because anything that does not align with God's word that is produced out of us is something that we want to manage, and we want to learn how to manage. And this is an opportunity for us to do that together.
I'm glad you say that, because with guys and girls, I see this. There's this particular people that I have in mind that sometimes I know why they don't want to go to church. I know. They say they believe in God, but I know that they're afraid that somebody's going to say, this is wrong, you got to change.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
And girls are like that. Maybe you're like that. I'm like, I believe in God, but I'm spiritual, whatever, right? But you don't want to get close to church, because you know back here that God's going to say, hey, déjalo. Leave him, stop this, change this. But if you see only what you need to take away, you're going to miss out what he wants to add to you.
Well, let me share from I know I'm freezing. Let me share from a podcast that you and I watched once. And the guy asked the girl, "Are you a Christian?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a Christian." He's like, "Oh, so do you go to church?" And what church do you go to? And she's like, "Well, I don't really go to church. I just I have a relationship with God, and that's enough." And I think that was me at one point, And he says, well, that's like saying you're a kickboxer, and you never go to the gym, you never train. He's like, I'm sure that if you were to get in the gym and go against your opponent, you'd probably get your butt kicked.
Ooh, babe,
and it's
you're
like,
speaking too close,
hey,
babe.
If we're Christians and we're like, oh yeah, I have a relationship with God, but we're not doing anything to sharpen our belief, to sharpen our faith, to grow in our faith, then when we get when life throws really hard things at us, we're gonna get our butt kicked. So
get into the gym.
This is a spiritual kickboxing training facility community.
Okay, sure. Let's start. We'll put you in the ring one of these days. She's in the ring. Marcela says, so excited for 2023. Something I like about Marcela is that she always, like in several conversations, she said that she wants to add, because she does, she has her gym, right? Burning in 30. And she's always training girls in fitness and nutrition and stuff like that.
Bible studies
but she's always trying to find a way how to introduce God more into, because she knows that the spiritual muscle is the most important. We need to get uncomfortable to grow. Mary, you know that phrase that we need to get uncomfortable to grow? It's so easily said, but very hard to accept and adapt to your life. It is. It is. But once again, when you come to Christ, don't think of what you need to take away. Think of what God wants to add to you. Like Edith said, sometimes what we're doing, it's interrupting us. Jennifer Rojas says, so good, Edith. ¿Quién más? Shelby said, spirit of sound mind. Yes. Susi González Olvera, the best videos in the world. Susi González, un saludo para Susi. Elena Estrada, God is filling your cup back right now. Don't rush back. 2023 will be a year of fasting, calling his people to be more intimate with him.
Elena always has powerful words to share. She's such a great writer.
Marianne says, we so needed this message. Ladies, She Is Society is you guys.
Praise God.
She Is Society is not Edith and the group of friends she hangs out with, her pandilla, her club. No, it's all of you girls.
It's primarily focuses women, but guys, if you want to come help out and serve us on conference or retreat, you are more than welcome. We need all the hands that we can get. Especially this year, we've got big plans for our community. So the next thing that we're going to move on to is branding. If you guys, that's one of the things that God has been like. So my husband usually helps me with all of our, like everything from graphic design, everything. But a lot of things I've kind of taken that initiative and taken it off of his plate and back onto mine. But God has really just been so gracious in helping me to just do these things. So I actually designed this little mood board with our font colors. You know what I love about like God is that he can work through you through the things that you're passionate about. And I love business. For those of you that don't know, I had a group fitness center and I ran that for about 6 or 7 years. And then simultaneously I incorporated the She Is Society. And then I closed the gym in 2018, right before we got married. But I love business. I love
entrepreneurship.
I love leading. I love the operations of a business. I'm learning to appreciate more the back end. I help my husband with his business occasionally with just the accounting and invoicing and stuff like that. But I love the creativity that we get to bring into, She Is Society and just do all, like these colors. I mean, aren't they cute?
Oh, wait, hold on. They haven't seen it. I just put it on the screen.
These are the colors that we're using. So you'll see it implemented on our website.
So we had to paint the wall today just to have this
graphic
podcast.
Design, just everything. And then the other thing that we're doing is we are doing these cute little connection cards.
This one's?
Yeah. So these are going to be ways for us to, like, when we run into women, we talk with women. I've had many opportunities that, it's just weird to say, hey, do you want to come to church with me on Sunday? But hey, look.
I'm glad you're honest. I'm glad you're honest with that, because a lot of times we don't want to sound weird.
It's not hard for you. Salo invites people all the time.
All the time.
Like,
but it's
the
funny.
Most awkward moments.
Thank you,
but
babe.
That's him. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But this really, like, if I'm at the gym, I meet women at the gym all the time and we start talking. But it's like, hey, get plugged into what we're doing, inviting them into the community. And yeah, just allowing them to be introduced to a space that's going to help them to grow in their faith. The other thing that I've been doing is a newsletter. I've been staying connected with our community through the emails that I've been sending out weekly. If you want to continue to stay connected with me, if you have, because I want to be more intentional, I felt like social media, women would message me. I missed a few messages. I think I had some women unfollow me because I never replied to them and they thought that I was unauthentic and insincere in what I'm doing. And I apologize for that. And I don't want that to happen again. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen again, but my heart is really to be more intentional. And so if you have questions for me, you can reply to the emails. They're going to come directly to me. I still have the capacity to manage and oversee all the communications and all the things that are going to be coming through. So I'll be replying to those emails. But yeah, those have been going out. And again, the link that is going to be in the description will lead you to subscribe. It'll lead you to follow the podcast. Yeah. It'll lead you to our website. It'll lead you to sign up for the social. So ladies, If you have not signed up for the She Is Social, that's going to be held on a Thursday evening, January 5th, from 6 to 8 p.m. And this is going to be a lot of our events have been designed to have speakers come in and to share, on a topic, from our retreats to our conferences. We've had some breakaway sessions at the retreats, but none like the She Is Social. This event is going to be designed
topical.
They're going to be topical, but we're actually going to be making time for you to break away with the smaller group and to be able to just actively participate in what we're going to be learning and what does that look like applying it into your life, and having those smaller discussions where you can kind of bounce ideas off of each other, or maybe share your own personal struggles or your own accomplishments or things that you've been able to overcome because of how and what God has helped you through that.
And what's beautiful, Edith, and a lot of the events you've had, even though there's some people speaking on stage, when it ends, there's other girls ministering to other girls, because God has surrounded you with a lot of beautiful girls that have a calling and have word in them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be at the Dominion, right?
It's going to be at the Dominion Country Club
on Thursday, January the 5th.
The last day to register is going to be December 30th.
Oh,
so we've never had cutoff times. We do have a cutoff. We do have a limit
because you have food and stuff like that.
Yes, because we have food. We've got to give them the final number. So if you're available, if you're open, make sure that you go to the link, register for the She Is Social. We want you to be a part of what God is doing. We want you to be inspired. We want you to really go into the new year with a plan, with prayer and a plan.
And also hang out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'll
build community, build relationships. I think that's the thing, is that when I first gave my life to Christ, I still had a lot of worldly friends, right? And I didn't know what it was to live this life out. I didn't have anyone around me encouraging me or modeling it out. I mean, a lot of even Christians that I hung out with were still doing worldly things. Yeah. So, we're not modeling this perfect life. We're modeling this life that, hey, I struggle. Hey, I'm going to mess up. Hey, I'm going to make some mistakes. Hey, my marriage may not be perfect 100% of the time, but I'm committed to getting better and growing into the woman that God wants me to be. I can't do that apart from being in intimate relationship with Him and with others, because through Christ, we get to see what that life really looks like being modeled out so that we can model that. But then being around people allows it to be kind of like a mirror. Like, am I living out the way Christ is in my marriage?
Yeah.
Am I living out the way Christ is in my relationships with others? And so where you mess up in your relationships, you get to kind of analyze yourself and say, where do I need to get better? Why did I think this about that person? Why did I react that way in this situation? Why was I quick to respond? Or why did I react that way? That doesn't represent the heart of Christ in this moment, right?
And people need to let others get close to the point that they are corrected. It's so hard, believe me. It is so hard, but it's a beautiful thing when you
It's biblical too. It's biblical, and I'm not going to try to say the verse because I'll do what I did with the other one. But it is biblical. Is that we have to be, we have to be teachable. It matters.
Hey, Lilia Esther Castro logged on. Lilia, we love Lilia. We love Lilia. Net Canales logged on. So excited for our social this coming year, Veronica. So true. Hey guys, that's what I'm telling you. I don't know if you noticed, but several times, what Edith was saying about having worldly friends, sometimes it sounds weird, but it's not that you're going to reject other people. The thing is, sometimes you got to say, okay,
sometimes you have to.
You have to, but
sometimes.
But again,
you have to.
It's more than saying I'm putting these friends away, is because you need to, because we've all had that during a conversation, and you go home and you just feel dull and bad and weird. Why? Because of the conversations you're having, and you don't notice it. It's so subliminal. You go into a group of friends and they're just talking about this and this and this. After a while, you're just tired and unsatisfied because they're talking about that they don't have this and this is going on. And then you get tired because those conversations have words that carry weight, and that weight brings you down. That's why you need to surround yourself with people that are speaking words that don't carry weight. They have a different type of weight, but that weight takes you up. So that's why this year's social is very important.
Yeah.
So sign up.
And everything we're doing, I feel like this year we're being a lot more intentional and more strategic, more consistent. That is our plan. In the past, I'm mom to a almost 3-year-old.
The best thing in our lives.
The best thing. That season required for me to be fully focused and just being a mom. And now we have someone who's actually helping us out twice a week, which allows me to pour into this more. And so that's what my focus is going to be. And I thank you for letting me do that and to really just pour all of myself, all the things that God has been teaching me in the past and in this season to help other women, because it's important. I think that the best thing that we can do, the best gift that we can be to our friends and to the people that we love and care for, is to be the women that God designed and created us to be. It's the best, but it takes work. And so because we know it takes work, we know it's challenging, we want to be able to come alongside of you and walk with you through this journey, and to bring in experts and amazing women who have amazing stories, and you may be one of them, but just to continue on this culture of women helping women to grow in their faith, knowing that we won't ever have it perfectly all together, but that we want to get better, and we have the desire to get alongside other women, even if it's going to be uncomfortable, and continue to grow in that. But
it was Daniela, baby. It wasn't Lilia. It was Daniela. She's
hi,
visiting
Daniela.
from Washington.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, you need to text me.
Daniela.
Me.
Isabel
Daniela
says the environment you're in matters.
Yes, absolutely. It can make all the difference.
Yeah. ¿Qué más, Ire?
So, one of the things that I said in the beginning is that intentionality leads to excellence. That's kind of like a phrase that came to me as I was driving down the road. And again, that word intentional means done on purpose. It's deliberate. You're actually being like on purpose. One of the things that I read is that good things aren't always motivating. Like going to the gym, I don't always feel like going to the gym, right? But but
intentionally,
But sorry, I was reading my notes and I'm like, that's not what I was gonna say. But, that's what I was going to say. The quote that I read: people who train physically and spiritually every day are not motivated every day. They're disciplined.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so I think we need to just move away from everything has to be a feeling. And I have to feel like, even loving my husband, like maybe I don't always feel, but I have to be disciplined because that's what God calls me to
decision.
do. And, so that's going to be important going forward. And we're going to talk more about this specifically during our growth setting event at the social. We'll unpack that a little bit more.
What's the first topic? Because it's going to be topical. The first...
It's going to be, it's because it's the beginning of the year, we wanted it to focus on growth setting, which is different from goals. A lot of people do goal setting at the beginning of the year. But a lot of times we set those goals only to get to the end of the year and not have accomplished majority of the goals that we set out to accomplish. So it's going to be important to see and understand why growth and goals, what's the difference, and how we can benefit from actually implementing a growth strategy, a growth plan for sustainable goals, for goals that when we achieve them, then we actually can sustain them. Because it's like, for example, weight loss. If I take a pill, right? Like if I take a pill and I lose the weight and it's fast, then what happens when I stop taking the pills?
Bypasses
the
a lot of
weight
things,
comes back, right? So it's like we need to do something different. There are steps that we need to go to grow into becoming a person that is truly a fit, healthy overall person versus trying to get that like quick fix, the pill. We'll be unpacking that a lot more. I'm super excited about the topic.
Last night, what the Spirit shared with me that I feel is important is when God appoints something beautiful for you to do, it always starts off messy.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you're going to remodel your house, you better understand that there's going to be a lot of dirt and a lot of stuff moved around before you get the new look. Okay? So, Lisette, Carrie Valdez says so true. Says, okay, sorry. She was agreeing. Belinda Muñiz, thank you for logging on. Lily, Daniela says, Saul and Edith are my favorite couple. She doesn't go out much, that's why. I'm sorry, Daniela.
We're the only couple she knows.
She's the only couple she knows. She lives in the forest.
Funny.
She lives in the forest.
The scripture that I read the other day that I just love because I feel like this was God speaking directly to me is Isaiah 43:19, and it says, "For I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I see it. I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. So, the last thing that I wanted to share is, we are working with some sponsors to help fund what we do. this is one of the areas that I hadn't really tapped into in the past as a nonprofit. You know, to be completely honest, I don't think I fully understood or knew the workings and the dealings of a nonprofit. But that's another thing that God has revealed to me during this time. I've done so much research, have listened to nonprofit podcasts. My pastor is a nonprofit guru. God has just sent me the support, the help, the lessons, and everything that I need to see how to really tap into going into this next chapter in this next season, making sure that we're equipped in every aspect, from having the support and the women that are on the team to having the funding. A lot of the things that we do cost a lot of money, and we want to be able to just, I feel like we've done such a great job because we have an incredible team. On creating this experience for women, but we want to enhance that experience. We want to do more things for women. We want to be able to really walk alongside women, provide one-on-one mentorship, just making ourselves available to women. I receive texts sometimes from women that I don't know, like don't have long relationship with them, but I think that they just feel like I'm someone that they can reach out to, and we'll just jump on a call real quick, and I'll try to help them through that. And so I just want to let women know that we're going to have a space for that, and that you don't have to wait to get counseling or to be able to share a really difficult moment in time with you, that we can walk with you through that. We can help give you the best advice, but most importantly, we can pray with you. We can sit on the phone, pray with you, and just see what are some next things that we can do to help you with your situation. Maybe if we can't help you, make sure that we point you in the right direction. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that we're wanting to do. So we're asking for women who have been blessed in the area of wealth to partner with us, to be a part of what we're doing, to help other women. A lot of women say, hey, Edith, if you ever need help with anything, let me know. And I always say, be careful when you offer that, because I will have something. But yeah, that is one of the ways that you can partner with us. That is one of the ways. I was laughing yesterday. I texted Moni and Lizette because I saw this dog commercial, and it's the one where the dogs are all like cold, and it's like real sad, and a lot of people like cry during that commercial because it's like this really sad song. And then they were like, we need 30,000 donations in the next hour. And I thought, man, if people are gonna give for dogs,
wow, babe. Wow, let's continue. Okay, so
let's give to save women. Hey, no, but I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for, he's gonna get after me. He's gonna get after me.
There's straight women that need help.
There's straight women. No, now you ruined it.
They're out in the cold.
No, but no, if you're looking for a way to get plugged in, not just giving financially through your blessed wealth, but there's ways that you can volunteer. We'll have a volunteer link for you to sign up to come and help out the day that we have these events. The more hands, the better. And so, that's really a quick overview of what I've been working on. There's so much more. There is so much more. I feel like God has truly increased my capacity to be able to not only think creatively and put it on paper, but to even, he's just inspired me. Like, that's why I wore this shirt, because I am like so inspired by Holy Spirit, have more time to read the Bible, and everything is just like coming alive inside of me. And I'm just excited to invite y'all to just share in that same experience, to get to that same place where you just feel so confident in what God's called you to do, that you don't care what anybody else thinks. You're going to do it fully and wholly. And I want to see more women. I think it's our responsibility to bring this woman to show up that brings peace into her home. As women, it's our responsibility to make sure, especially during this time, Christmas, I know sometimes it can be chaotic and stressful. I try to put those words together, but it's important that we're the ones who are bringing peace into our homes. And so there's just so many things that we need to learn together and grow through. And so I just want to see more women showing up as the women that God created them to be.
So there's two links. So there's two links in the description. A link to who, so you can.
Did you already put? They're there already.
They're in the description.
Okay.
And one of them is so you can sign up for the social, and the other one is so you can have access to the different social media platforms that she is in. ¿Qué te ríes? ¿De qué te riendo?
Nothing.
So
that's it. That's pretty much it. Super excited about the things that God is doing. Again, if you want to get connected with me, or if you have any questions for me, you can shoot me an email, or yeah, that's probably going to be the best way for now.
All right.
But we will still be active on our social media pages. We'll be sharing encouragement and just other things that we love to share.
All right.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. The end. See you next year.
Hey,
Joking.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New
and
Year.
Happy New Year.
Talk to somebody
love
about
y'all.
Christ.
Thank you so much for jumping on here and joining us. You're trying to like abruptly finish.
No, because I put instrumental music. You can't hear
okay.
it. That's why. That's right. Okay, what do you want
we
to say?
love y'all.
Okay, famous last words from a fool. Okay, go.
From a fool.
I mean, from a beautiful species that God gave me.
Let
Okay.
me have my clothes.
Okay, go.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Edith.
And well, no, I mean, I already said
ya
everything.
te quité todo. Órale.
I super love y'all. I'm excited for what we're going to be doing. I just love our community. They've been
Yeah, they're
amazing.
amazing.
They've helped us to accomplish a lot of things too. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Adios. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are you good? You got it out. You got it out. All right.
Yes, that's it. Goodbye.
Bye.